I totally forgot what I was going to say to start off with, and I don't know what's going on with these two. If you're watching on YouTube, which, by the way, best way to enjoy this program, when we're Pinstripe Pals, you like that. Do we put any other ones up yet? I don't know. But those two, they stand out. This, of course, Wavelengths. Week 13 just wrapped up, although it feels like it wrapped up after that Baltimore-Pittsburgh game. It was the Detroit Lions Day. Great day to be a Cardinal fan. Arizona sports. Whoop, whoop. Bad day if you were an MCL, ACL. Bad day for shoulders.
Bad day for a Vikings fan.
Although it could be considered like a great day for Vikings fans because maybe finally they'll get rid of Mike Zimmer. One could hope. I hope.
Yeah, I mean, Shaman's probably going to be out for a few weeks.
What else happened? Patriots didn't even play, but, you know, it was a great day for Patriots fans. If you didn't know, apparently they're back.
Yeah, Panthers fired Joe Brady, which shocked pretty much everybody.
Yeah, that was a huge stunner, actually. They gave him, no time and no resources? They kind of just said, hey, man.
Three different quarterbacks?
Yeah, if you just clap your hands together, rub this small pile of dirt with this other pile of dirt, can you make a winning team? And he said, I can win some games with that. And they said, that's not good enough somehow. I just don't understand. I mean, he did give them a competent offense while they were healthy and before they traded Dan Arnold out from under him, who was a really useful piece to start the year.
Yeah, I mean, you have no tight end, barely an offensive line. McCaffrey's been hurt, 90% of the season?
Yeah, and now he's done for the year.
Yeah, and now they're blaming it on Joe Brady.
Yeah. It's just foolish. I don't understand
and how they signed Cam Newton off the street and basically asked Joe Brady to make a Super Bowl winning offense with that.
Yeah, I mean, that defense is legitimate. If they had a mediocre offense, I would say they're easily a playoff team. But with the tools he's been given and the time he's been given to make something work, he's got, I don't know what they're expecting from him, what they were expecting from him. Obviously, they don't expect anything from him anymore. It's just stunning to me. I'm consistently shocked and appalled.
One other thing I wanted to mention, too. The possibility of Jake Fromm starting a game next week. How
That's
crazy would that be?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the fact that he got scooped off off the Buffalo Bills practice squad is really interesting to me because do you mean to tell me that the New York Giants looked around at the free agent market for quarterbacks, looked around at every practice squad quarterback, a lot of whom have actual NFL starting experience, and went to themselves, yeah, let's pick the fourth string quarterback from the Bills. That's who
probably
we need.
Not even fourth string, probably fifth.
Yeah, I mean, we got Josh, Mitch, Webb.
Then Fromm, I thought we had someone else on the practice squad. Maybe not, but anyway.
I don't know. We've seen Cole Beasley make throws. That's fine. He'll do.
Seen Dawson Knox make throws, so.
Yeah, we had John Brown.
Did you hear either of those alarms?
No.
Yes, we did.
I didn't. Yes. Then again, I don't know. I couldn't think of anything funny to say.
So
no.
When I
heard that.
Okay.
Yeah, I just assumed you jumped into traffic.
No, that was enough talk about bad teams. We can talk about good teams that played bad today, though.
Ooh, I'm definitely down for that.
That's good.
All right, Bryce, what loss meant the most today? Actually, no. Let me. That's dumb. What's a team that lost that shouldn't? It's whatever you want. Talk about a team that lost that we think is good.
Well, I gotta go with Bengals. They've shown time and time again how improved they got this offseason with Joe Burrow's, another year of experience under his belt. They got Jamar Chase. Joe Mixon's back healthy. They got a competent offensive line. Their defense is really coming along now. Everything's coming along a lot faster than we expected in year 2 of this rebuild. And I think they've shown quite a few times this year how great they can be in the AFC. So this one kind of surprised me.
Yeah, especially considering, the kind of performances we've seen from them lately. I know they had a little bit of a skid there, but they looked like they were back. Meanwhile, the Chargers have been, at times, a dumpster fire team lately. They've had I think one good game in the past 3 or 4 weeks. They've been really sliding, having started the season, opened up looking like they were going to be, coming out of the AFC as one of the top 2 seeds. And now they are in the wild card. Yeah, they're in the 6th seed at the moment with a game still left to play for the week. And it's just, we expected better from them, and then they disappointed us, and now they're back. They're here, and
they've been very inconsistent.
Yeah, they're sometimes they're the best team in the NFL, sometimes they're bottom 5. But you already said that
just
the
like
Bengals,
with the rest of the AFC.
Yeah, you pretty much the top 5 teams in the NFC are great but confusing, and the entire AFC are contenders, but not every week. And then
you just never know what you're getting from top 12 teams, 10, 12 teams.
Yeah, there's like 2 to 3 teams in the AFC who I would genuinely say don't deserve a chance at the playoffs. I'd say 3, and then in the NFC, I'd say one team that's reasonably out of the discussion for the playoffs in the NFC.
Yeah,
it's
Vikings.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, maybe they should be. But that's it. There's only a couple teams that you can justifiably say don't deserve a first spot. Okay, so the 13th seed in the AFC right now are the Dolphins, and they're 6-7, and they're 13th out of 16. That's a pretty intense position to be sitting at this point of a season when you are the 13th seed. I'm stunned by it. But you asked for teams that lost today that we still think are good. 49ers. This was a bit of a letdown from them, considering that they have looked dominant. Last week they looked incredible. They looked like they were getting it all back together again. They got healthy. They started to figure out some of their concerns. And Seattle was a team that no one really saw trying anymore. Seattle didn't look like they wanted to be here. There's still so many problems with that team, and I think winning this game was probably a bit of a hindrance for them. But it doesn't really matter in the same way when you've given your first round pick to the Jets for a safety who didn't finish the game.
Nope. If you can't hear it, it's a bunch of fart noises.
It definitely is.
Too much about the 49ers. We've known for a long time that they're not that good. Yeah, they're like a fringe wild card 2 team that'll play on like the stupid 4-10 Saturday, whatever. The Washington football team's better than them right now, are they not?
They're both 6-6.
Yeah, but I would pick the Washington football team over the 49ers. The 49ers just haven't given us a reason to believe in them the entire season.
The thing is, they've had some great games, and Washington has had some great games too. Actually, that's fair. Washington did beat Tampa,
and I usually don't participate.
Don't give
in these
Deontay
things.
any fire.
No, I can't. The thing is, I don't want to. I've said even as early as last season, I was saying Washington were a quarterback away from contending, and honestly, they might still be. They've got great skill position players: Logan Thomas, Gibson.
Curtis Samuel.
Yeah, McLaurin. Put a quarterback in there, and that offensive line's good enough to make it work. Not great, but good enough. And that defense they're
been
underperforming.
shaky, but
Yeah,
been shaky, but they still have the talent there.
Yeah, they'd be perfectly competitive. The kind of team that you would worry would trip up a great team, but not exactly a team you'd expect to see in the conference finals, but a team you'd expect to see in the wild card.
Yeah, I'm surprised neither of you said the Ravens because they kind of lost on a fluky way.
Iestyn.
Yeah. The thing is, they didn't lose in a fluky way, though, did they? They made a deliberate choice, and then they failed to execute.
So this is an interesting debate we can have here for a minute.
Okay.
When Tennessee Buffalo played on Monday night and the Bills went for it on fourth down instead of taking the points, we were all like, oh, that's the right call. I don't feel like as many people are saying that Baltimore doing what they did is the right call.
Well, there's a difference between needing 6 yards for the first down with time on the clock they needed to kill, and going for 2 to take a lead at the last second as time expires and guaranteeing overtime essentially. I would say, I do agree still that the Ravens probably made the right decision. If you follow the math, the odds of them winning the coin toss and scoring first, or losing the coin toss and scoring first, are significantly lower than the odds of successfully converting 2 points, considering their own track record.
Yeah, Pittsburgh was controlling the second half with the run game, and Deontay Johnson was lighting that defense up too.
Yeah, and they had very little momentum. Overtime was probably not going to be their friend. With the Bills, there was also, there was the same concern. Tennessee had taken a major comeback. They'd really, really put the dirt on the Bills, and not a major comeback, a minor one, much like in this game. But it was, they had the momentum, they had the movement, and the defense was being shredded. There was no guarantee. You could not guarantee that you could get a stop. But, if you've got an 85-95% chance of converting a 6-inch QB sneak, then I would take those odds every time. With the Ravens, it's more of a 60-40 split over whether or not you convert the 2 points. So the maths, while still in their favor, it's a little less supported. Still not a bad call. Still, if you purely go by the numbers, they made the right decision. But you have to wonder if, if most coaches in the league might have disagreed. Even though the numbers, sometimes you have to go with your gut. And sometimes your gut should tell you, hey, tie this thing up right before overtime instead of risking it on a 60-40 play.
That's fair. All right, let's switch it up now. Now, before I say our Detroit Lions, the favorite team of the podcast, they're not allowed to be mentioned in this. We're going to talk about Dan Campbell, coach of the year, the runner-up later on. What's a bad team that won today that impressed you?
That impressed us?
Yeah, maybe 12 hours ago, they weren't really in that playoff picture, but now maybe they're sneaking in there. A la Pittsburgh Steelers, like I said a couple weeks ago, they're going to do this thing where they go down and then Big Ben has a resurgent game, after the day after it comes out that he's going to step away or whatever. Mm-hmm. And Gardner Minshew on the Pittsburgh Steelers next year is going to be awesome. And they're going to be like a Super Bowl contender, I feel like, and he deserves it. But that's not right now. We'll talk about that in a few months. Bad team that won today. Who wants to go first?
You can go, Bryce.
Iestyn, you want to? All right. It's tough because not a lot of bad teams won today.
Maybe not bad teams then, but mediocre teams?
I mean, I might have to go with Miami.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking them too.
Because the last, 4 or 5, whatever games, Tua's shown a ton of improvement.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Waddle's finally starting to catch up there. He had 9 for 90. Mm-hmm. Xavier Howard is starting to look like his 2020 self again. Byron Jones, it's a nice cornerback duo. Mm-hmm. I like that defensive line too. Christian Wilkins has been balling.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think if they had maybe a couple more games, they could have done some damage, but I think it's too late now.
Mm-hmm. I do like Miami. Not like I like them, but I respect Tua, I think.
Yeah.
And I think he's needed time for a while, but
you got to.
Yeah. He's showing a lot of discipline. He's doing they're doing a lot of what New England is doing right now, which is, the short, controlled, death by 1,000 cut style of offense. You take what the defense gives you. You make the short plays, and occasionally, just occasionally, you throw something deep. You try an intermediate to long range shot. You try a little trick, something a little funky to just keep the defense just honest enough that you can continue to work the short range consistently. And when you see consistent stat lines like 80% completion percentage, 75 to 85, that's like the range. When you see completion percentages within that bracket, you can generally assume it was a short inside passes, maybe a couple over the middle to it on short slants. And that's a lot of what Miami's been doing, but teams hate having that done to them because the defense doesn't get a chance to make the big plays. You don't get to, go for the big pick downfield. You don't get to, we get some time with the QB in the pocket to rush him and take him down for the sack because you just won't get the opportunity. They move too quick. Decisions get made before you can get there. But Miami's doing it well, and New England's been doing it well. And eventually someone will stop them.
With zero offensive line, too.
Exactly. I think Tua as an individual, his quarterback performance is impressing me more than Mac Jones right now. But the Patriots as a team are obviously a bigger threat. I think that until someone stops both those teams doing what they're doing, then they're going to continue to succeed in that way. It won't blow your socks off, it won't be incredible, but it will win them games up to a certain point. And I do think that Tua deserves some credit for that. Obviously, the team that impressed me that I don't think is that great, the team that impressed me the most is Philly, because who else? Minshew Mania is back, baby. Let's go. It's brilliant. I think that the fact that Philly has a QB controversy because Minshew played one game against the Jets is incredible. I do like.
It's going to be all over Philly newspapers tomorrow morning.
Oh yeah, and it's going to be all they talk about for at least a week.
And how bad Jalen Reagor is, like the worst draft pick ever.
Yeah, he's been.
I think that when his rookie deal is up in another 2 years, and I hope to God that they don't renew it for that 5th-year option, it's going to be worse than Jamarcus Russell. I truly believe that. He's just so bad at football now.
Watch it be another Nelson Eckler. He goes somewhere else and catches 5-6 touchdowns.
See, I think that with the whole 5th-year option thing, 5th-year options are typically extremely expensive because it's you can't work out a deal. Just take this huge cash hit to force you to do something.
Carolina figured that out.
Yeah, they did it before the guy even played it down for him.
Yeah, they found out the hard way. But I think, but largely, 5th-year options get picked up, but the amount is predetermined based on your accolades, how you contribute, what your stat line looks like, whether you go all pro. Are you the MVP?
Which it's going to be $3 million for.
Yeah, so is picking up Rieger's 5th-year option really going to be that bad?
Yeah, because it's going to cost you 2 or 3 games.
It's going to give you it's going to cost you $3 and a sandwich to get a wide receiver 7. And as a GM, I might take that money. I might take that receiver in that trade because he's not going to be that expensive. And if he is that
he's going to cost you games,
then you're not going to pick
priceless.
Thing is, will he cost you games?
Don't blame them.
Because you have the choice of not playing him. You can put him lower down in the depth chart.
Yeah, but then if you're picking up the option and paying him money, you're going to play him.
Yeah, but you're not paying him that much money.
Then what's the point of paying him if you're going to sit him?
An example: the Bills picked up Trent Murphy, and they give him a huge contract. And Trent Murphy was a perfectly acceptable defensive end, but at the time that we were playing him, he was losing snaps, and eventually he became a healthy scratch, 7 or 8 weeks out of a 16-game season, just because they had other people who they felt were going to be better on game day. They paid him, but cash doesn't mean anything in the middle of an NFL season. Neither does draft capital. Your investment is irrelevant if they can't play out on the field. And if they give him a little bit of cash just to stick around, maybe give him that 1 more year to see if he can do it, great. If not, someone might pick him up for a 7th round, be willing to pay that cash to him, and you get something in return, maybe.
If Miami got Jakeem Grant for a 6th, then I think Reagor could get something.
Yeah, I think he would pick up a 6th or a 7th.
You know why, though, Trent Murphy doesn't play?
Why?
Because he's
Ginger and he's
bad.
bald.
Because he's
You
bald.
can't have two of them. Well, and he's the ginger.
Oh, well, wait, how do you...
Like McDermott's bald. You can't have Trent Murphy be out there, turtle waxing
well.
up the place.
See, well, you think he's just going to borrow coach? Do you think that's why he got benched? He just borrowed coach's wax too many times?
Do you see any bald players on the Jets?
Like, that's it. I got this from Sephora. How dare you?
The coach doesn't want to be upstaged.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. Probably, they always talked about a dome in Buffalo. I didn't realize that it's going to be McDermott's scalp. Cool.
Cardinals won again. That was good.
Yeah, it was okay.
And they did it with Kyler Murray being like average at best, which kind of surprises me too.
Well, does it surprise you? Because they've done. I haven't my weekly power rankings coming out on Tuesday. Stay tuned. I've already written that segment for that game, and I found it thoroughly unimpressive how the Cardinals were perfectly fine without Murray for a while. I mean, not perfectly fine. Obviously, they were worse, but
Colt McCoy was still winning them games though. 300
because
yards, couple TDs.
It's a talented, disciplined roster that's playing very well across the board. It's not like Murray has the secret sauce. He's making it all go. I truly believe that on that team right now, being coached the way they are and playing the way they are, if you put any top 15 quarterback, they're probably sitting at the same record they are now. Or maybe 9-3 instead of 10-2.
And you know what that says to me?
What's that?
Cliff has Coach of the Year wrapped up already.
I would say he's earning. I would say he's probably he should be at least be top 3 right now. And I hate to say that, but it's true.
Yeah, it's Cliff, Dan Campbell, and Fleur.
I wouldn't say Fleur.
Belichick.
Just because
they won't give him an award, but
the thing is, I do think it might be Belichick just because of what he's done with such a massively changed roster in the span of a season. I mean, I as a Bills fan can look at him and hate him, but like I do respect his game and the way he puts it together. And he's built a perfect little nest for Mac Jones to grow in. He's schemed up his usual brilliant defense like he always does. He's made mediocre free agents look largely successful. Obviously, he has a lot of misses in that, but that's how it is with free agents. My concern with his case right now is just can he maintain it through the end of the season? They have a couple tough games, and including 2 against Buffalo, which is if his offense stalls out, then the defense won't get any recognition. Yeah, but honestly, Bill Belichick deserves to be a Coach of the Year contender right now, as does Cliff.
So say it like
Easy
that.
to say, but it's true.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not supposed to be happy about it.
You should be.
No.
Everybody was running Cliff out of town. Oh, the Cardinals are so bad. Kyler's a bust, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
Cliff has to wear a jacket in cold games, even though it makes him uncomfortable. Probably has to wear socks that go above his ankles, and he hates it. But he does it, and he wins, and it's Super Bowl or bust now.
I don't think it. The thing is, I'm just unsure that the Cardinals are a Super Bowl contending team. I think they're really good.
Yeah,
but I don't know if
I
just don't know if they can modify their game plan to beat 3 drastically different playoff teams in a row.
I mean, it doesn't matter. Colt, Kyler, bring back Kurt Warner. It's LA or
Trace
bust.
McSorley.
Yeah, even Trace.
Yeah,
Kyler Murray,
when
he wins the Super Bowl in LA, middle of February, first ever quarterback wearing a visor to do it too. Not bad for a baseball player, huh? All right, well, that's all the time we got. What else? Yeah, Bengals. We talked about them. They lost. Chiefs, back, number 1 seed. Beating the Broncos, not that impressive, really. Teddy Bridgewater, it's so crazy, like his unfortunate trajectory. It was like premier quarterback on the market 2 years ago, big contract, didn't do that great, traded. Now he's here.
Yeah.
Raiders lost in a game that felt like they needed to win.
I mean,
Washington might finally have a kicker.
I mean, it feels premature, and I wouldn't say that about any other team. But I can't have confidence that they found their kicker until he's kicked like a season.
Hey,
Because
Joey Sly shouldn't be on his third team. It's a travesty he got cut from the Panthers and then the 49ers, and then what was the other team he was on? Maybe the Colts for a minute? No, Texans.
Is it still a travesty if it keeps happening? Or is
No,
it just
but
like,
they just keep replacing him with like the original guy. Like he's better than Robbie Gould.
yeah, he's the injured reserve kicker. It's what he does every season. If kickers start getting hurt, there's one or two free agents who get kicked around the pool for a while, and they hit like 4 or 5 teams just for like a 1 or 2 game stretch, and then they get cut. So they bring the original guy back. It happens every season.
Of kickers, Cody Kessman, Sam Kessman, whatever his name is on the Jets.
He's terrible.
I hope he didn't like put money down on an apartment in the New York, New Jersey area, because no way
They
he's
cut
sticking around.
Amendola for that.
Hold on, they have buildings that tall in New Jersey?
For what?
Or is it like a single floor apartment, like a bungalow?
This isn't Antarctica.
So you
can-
say. I mean,
Actually, it's a good thing you said Antarctica. So they were talking before Sunday Night Football about how cold it was in Kansas City and frigid, blah, blah, blah. And then Al Michaels is like, yeah, 50 degrees tonight. Like, you live in Canada. Bryce lives in upstate New York. I live in New Jersey.
Yeah, wait,
50
you guys
degrees
use
complaining about
Fahrenheit.
is
Let me look at the
cold.
conversion. 50 degrees Fahrenheit to Celsius.
I would kill for 50
Oh,
degrees.
that's 10 degrees. Are you kidding me? It was -5 today, and I went grocery shopping in a t-shirt and a jumper and like
Yeah, it's going to be like
trainer
50
socks.
degrees tomorrow. I might go outside.
That's a
Sure.
nice. Okay, that's not a nice day, but that's like a pretty
No,
great day
like
for
3
this
weeks
time of
before
year.
Christmas,
For
that's a nice
December,
day.
yeah.
Hey, are you kidding me? Like,
For middle winter, it's a great day.
it's
Yeah.
like, oh no, look how cold it is. There's not
Wait till
snow
Al
or
Michaels has
ice.
to come to Buffalo in middle winter.
No. Okay, so there have been days where, in my time here in Canada, where it's been -40 degrees Celsius outside. Let me look at the conversion for that.
That's probably like 0.
And it's been those days. It was so dangerous. It's negative. Both of them are -40, -40 Fahrenheit, -40 Celsius. It's kind of dangerous where your heart can stop in under 30 minutes if you're not properly.
Yeah,
dressed
you
for
got to
cold.
cover your neck.
Yeah, and you got to keep your neck, mouth, nose, everything, every extremity covered, hands covered, in gloves in your pockets. It's dangerous, and that's like just a very cold, windy day in the wintertime in Toronto, which is by no means a frigid city by Canadian standards. And I don't understand. Like, I understand it. It's, I guess, you get a little chilly, you get a little wet, and you like get cold to the bone. But that's just such a massive overstatement. Oh my god.
You guys
I
want
didn't
to
really
talk
have
about
like a
nuts and
huge
stuff
point,
now?
but
You
Yeah,
want
we
to
can
talk
talk
about
about
nuts
that.
and whatnot? Coaches
Yeah.
are allowed this week, unless we just want to say that Dan Campbell gets all 3 of ours, and then we'll each get a separate one.
I mean, yeah, that feels right for Dan Campbell. Give it to him.
For Dan
That's like,
Campbell,
give him my nuts.
we'll drop our nuts. We'll drop our 2 extra large venti, whatever he gets. We'll drop those, something harder than Starbucks fake press conference interview that came out earlier this year. All the jokes aside, we're all happy for Dan Campbell. Detroit deserves it. Jared Goff got a win without Sean McVay. Kind of shocking, too.
I thought it was never going to happen.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought Dan Campbell, the Jared Goff whisperer? All right, Bryce.
He threw like, what, 299 and 3 TDs too?
Who knows? It's Jared
Something
Goff.
crazy that only prime golf would do.
Bryce, who dropped their nuts on your table? Player of the week.
Ooh, that's tough. There was
A
a
player-
lot of great.
So can a player do that but also lose the game?
Yeah.
Oh, I just picked the best player.
Yeah, that feels right. But
Yeah, it can be anybody. Remember that week I picked Urban Meyer? because he kind of cheated on his wife a little bit. Depends on how you define monogamy.
I define it as not what he was doing.
Yeah, bar stuff, guys being dudes.
So my drop your nuts on the table player of the week was Dallas Goddard.
Yeah.
What he did with Gardner Minshew, which no one should be surprised, but he was just phenomenal. Had 6 for 105 yards and 2 TDs. I mean, he played better than he ever did with Jalen Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
That long touchdown, in first quarter, was just magnificent. Can't speak better about a Gardner Minshew game.
Yeah, really, honestly. He was great catching passes from the greatest
quarterback ever.
Yeah, probably. I think mine, I'm going to go running back here. This might be a little bit unorthodox considering his team only put up 9 points and they lost in prime time. But Jovati Williams.
He was dominant.
I mean, he got 102 on the ground, and he got 76 through the air on 6 catches, and his team's only touchdown of the day, which they did not get any extra points from. And I mean, to be leaning on your running back to carry your offense like that when you're down and trying to make a comeback throughout the entire third and fourth quarter, he had to step up in a huge way, and he did. No one else did, though, and I feel like he got really let down by his team today. I've got sympathy for him. I think he was great.
More snaps over Melvin Gordon now.
Yeah, I mean, Melvin Gordon was out today, of course, and he's when you're the number 2, number 3, number 4 guy, you need to take advantage of those snaps, and he absolutely did today. And he's proven that he deserves to be more of a running back by committee moving forwards at the very least.
I'm not going to hit you with a bunch of fancy stats. It's obvious. Gardner Minshew, he's going to be one of the 32 starting quarterbacks in the league next year. You can count on that. It's a few weeks before Christmas, but you two, I really need a present. I need the Bills to win. Well, technically today. We got 3 minutes left. Please just will it into Josh Allen and them. Tell me how this game's going to go tonight. And please, Bryce, you get a lot of pull on Instagram. Just DM any of them. Be like, just win. I can't stand Patriots fans being like, oh, you missed us? It's like you were gone for a COVID year, which didn't really count. And then Brady won. So it kind of felt like you still won. So now you only got
we got to hear
2.5 minutes. So
every other hour.
Yeah.
So yeah,
we've been getting it all week. And I'm kind of tired of it. You know what we're gonna do?
What's nice is we're healthy.
Oh yeah, we are healthy outside of Tre'Davious
offensive line. Yeah.
We're going to be back, and I'm thrilled for it. The offensive line looks to be completely healthy. Feliciano probably will be activated on some time before the game. Having to, I believe, 4 p.m. to activate him.
Yeah.
So they're going to see him. The loss of Tre'Davious White is significant for our secondary, but whilst he would have been a massive boon against Mac Jones, his loss is not going to be the nail in the coffin for one of the best secondaries in the entire NFL over the past 4 seasons. It was not one player. That they work incredibly well together as a group, and I believe Dane Jackson has had enough experience to step up. I'm not going to use up all our time, but I'm going to say that we're going to press the line of scrimmage heavily. We're not going to blitz, but we are going to use a lot of mixed personnel on the defensive line to try and throw different stunts at that offensive line and get to them. Because when you put pressure on rookies, they crumble every goddamn time. And we're going to press them down, low stack the box, and have our safeties play deep regularly to, essentially dare Mac Jones to throw deep and try and get those costly turnovers that I expect. Meanwhile, on offense, Dave's got 3 touchdowns on J.C. Jackson last year, and J.C. Jackson's the best person in that secondary.
Now we got Dawson Knox.
Yeah, Dawson Knox is better. Emmanuel Sanders is an upgrade on John Brown. Stephon Diggs is going to go off. Cole Beasley is there. He's the same man. He's just not getting used. Gabe Davis can do whatever he wants. I'm fully expecting a dominant win. I'm not going to say like dominant, but let's say 2 scores by the time the final whistle blows. Go Bills.
Bryce, any words?
I left him in it.
Yeah. So what sucks about Trey is it's obviously Trey, but I think the way McDermott and Leslie Frazier scheme up this defense is our safeties and our linebackers are huge in coverage. Jordan Poyer's been dominant. Matthew Milano's been everywhere on the field this whole season. So I don't think it's going to hurt us as much this week because they don't have a lot of dominant receivers like we're going to see down the road. So
respect it. Take us out.
By the time you see us, it'll be about 8.5 hours before the Manning cast. Please, Buffalo, win. We'll see you guys on Tuesday. The sportswave.net, sportswave official on Instagram, new hockey page, tsw.nhl. We're out. See you on Tuesday.